Kindergartners, be seated on the steps. Leave your props back. Have a seat. Sit down for just a minute because we have some people that would like to speak with you today. Who has Mrs. Moretti's special something? Caitlin, can you go grab that? Do you know where it is? Will you go get it? Mrs. Moretti, the kindergartners have something special for you.
My very own. Thank you so much. I was very envious. You know what that is, don't you? I wanted one when you were making yours. How very thoughtful of you. And just my size. Thank you for coming this afternoon. I want you to remember how well they did, and if they only know one letter of the alphabet, it's one letter they'll never forget, and neither will you. I'm sure you've heard this song over and over at home. And while you're watching them this afternoon, try and remember the wiggly little kids that you brought to us in August, who couldn't follow directions, who you weren't sure would ever line up, would hold a pencil, let alone what they have learned this year. And I'm not sure who's more excited about them reading and knowing all their letters, them or Mrs. Bochy and Mrs. Gressel. Every day they run down and say, look at this, look what they're doing here. And it's been an exciting adventure for us, and I'm sure it has been for you. I'm pleased to see so much growth in such a short time. And it's like magic when the door opens and they start learning all their letters and how to read. They're a delightful group. And I'm greeted very warmly when I go down to kindergarten. So on an especially stressful day, they're the only group of kids that will walk up and say, hi, Mrs. Moretti, how are you? As the 8th graders and the 7th graders have a tendency to turn and run. I appreciate your letting us have your children. We have enjoyed them all year. And thank you, Mrs. Bochy and Mrs. Gressel, for what you've done with them.
Mrs. Moretti knew that we were doing something special and it was driving her crazy. Every time she'd walk in the room, we'd hide it real fast if we were signing it or working on it, and she kept saying, what are you doing in there? What are you doing? So we surprised her, didn't we? That was fun. Father Leo, they have something special for you too. Who has Father Leo's special something? Ryan? And you even remembered. That's our theme this year, Father. That's our theme this year, the Chicka Chicka Boom Boom, and they all put their initials on it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. As you can tell by this shirt that you painted, right? When I'd stop by your room, I was always glad that the insurance guy from the diocese wasn't here, because I never knew what color your room was going to be, or what was going to be in it, or what you were using, or that type of thing. But it was always exciting. Did you have a fun year? How many? Don't sound so excited now. Now, how many of you thought kindergarten wasn't going to be this fun, but it was more fun than you thought? About most of you. How many of you thought it would be funner? How many of you thought both? Okay, well, we have time to address that. So you're looking forward to summer? It'll be a good time, and then next year you'll be in first grade, right? And that'll be fun too. But you had a great year and learned a lot. I know that I learned a lot just now. The alphabet will never be the same for me again. And I'm sure it won't be for you. And just as Mrs. Moretti said, Every time I would come down the hallway, there wasn't one of you that wouldn't say hi or brighten up my day. So I look forward to seeing many of you, if not all of you, next year after the summer and when you come to church. And make sure that you come up and say hi, because in a couple days when school's over and all you are home, it gets awfully quiet around here. And we miss you all, but we look forward, although we hope you have a good summer, we look forward to your coming back and starting again in first grade. Okay, and I'll show this to my brother priests, and they'll all be jealous. So have a great summer, and God bless.
We would like to end our celebration with a Hail Mary.
We are very, very proud of this kindergarten class, and just like they have learned so much, and we marvel at how much they have learned, they have taught us a lot too, haven't they, Mrs. Bochi? We've learned a lot this year, have we not? We've played a lot, haven't we? We've had an awful lot of fun. We've made many new friends. And just like that poem this morning that I was talking to you about, does anyone remember that poem? What was that poem that I told you? That I'll bet every member of our audience knows about this poem. Byron, do you remember what it was? Ryan, do you remember? What was it?
Everything I need to know I learned in kindergarten.
That's right. And so these lessons will take you far, and I don't want you to forget anything that you've learned, because all those lessons will lead you far in life. We thank you for coming today. Parents, before you leave, I want to make sure you know the shirts need to be dried in the dryer to set them, and my goal was to get them home and have them heat set, but I didn't get it done. So if you could make sure you throw that in the dryer before you throw it through the washer to make sure it's heat set, that would be good. And the same goes for Mrs. Moretti and Father. We don't want you to lose those beautiful handprints that were made with their hands, or the tree trunk that was made with their forearms. So thank you. Thank you for coming today.